Today I was going to give you a little bit of a tour of my current works in progress because I work and I go to school, and when I can I crochet, and I knit a little bit very poorly. But I don't have a lot of finished projects to show anyone ever because I'm so busy. So this is what I do have. In no particular order, because if I did I would lose my mind a little bit. These are two of my recent ones. I, like, end of 2023 into the beginning of this year, I got a ton, and I mean like a ton, of Pinterest recommendations and Instagram recommendations to make like a granny square scarf. Populate some ideas up here, and there will also be a post on my Instagram for it. But these are some of the squares I've been making to do one long kind of length of granny squares like this. So I'm doing two different colors. This is a dark blue, just kind of based on the lighting. It's not going to focus too much, but it's a dark blue. It looks brighter actually on camera than it is in person. Every time I try to take a picture on my phone, it looks black. I don't know what to do with it, but I have 4 squares so far for this, so it's a long ways off. But each of these 6 rounds around, which looks a little different because I couldn't decide which one I wanted to make. I did this one, which is a light blue and white. I've already started joining the squares that I do have together, so we're already pretty long into the process. I'm using a mattress stitch, is I think what it's called, for that invisible join, so it doesn't look super apparent on the wrong side. But it also lines up very well usually for other people. Mine are a little less even, but this is a lot better than how it was the first time I did it. I'll put a picture here. I undid about 6 of them, joined together, and just kind of restarted because I don't know what I was doing that first time, but it was wrong, very wrong. Now, recently I finished this bad boy. It is a knot bag, inspiration here, with a tulip stitch. This is kind of what it looks like unfurled. I know that this one is a little too long or this one's a little too short because they should proportionally look a little different. And I have not, this is why it's considered a WIP, I have not yet woven the ends in, so I do still have all of those. But I plan to line this bag, hopefully. I've never lined a bag before that was crocheted, and it kind of scares me because sewing scares me. I've had a sewing machine since I was like 18, which was 4 years ago now, and I just haven't used it. But it sits on the wrist like this, which I think is really cute. I want to remake this a little smaller with a thinner strap here. I think I'd like it to be about that wide. Kind of closer to the Inspo pics that I was looking at, and just a little smaller so it does drape better. This is a good size to carry around like my glasses case and a book and something on vacation, if I ever got to go. Maybe when I graduate. This is a fail. I was working on a scarf that I was going to write a pattern for called the Betty Bow scarf, and kind of when it came down to it, I just did not love the way that it kind of, the bows drape. I feel like they kind of just fall a little bit more than I want them to, and I think if I went down a hook size, which I think I did this with a 4mm, so it would be a 3mm or a 4.5 I used originally. Issue is it's been a while, so I don't know exactly, but I think I want to go and remake this with a smaller hook size. The base of it is half double crochet, which, like, for me personally is the prettiest crochet stitch. I think the smaller your stitch, the prettier it looks to me because it makes a pretty cohesive textile, which I kind of started knitting, and maybe that influences it a little bit, but I like a half double because it's like the best of both worlds. When you use a double crochet for things, sometimes it just looks see-through, which is good when it's intentional, but sometimes it isn't, especially like on a scarf. Now, this bad boy is a tulip stitch scarf. I made the first one of these for my great grandma's birthday in like September, and then I made another one for my other grandma for Christmas? No, for her birthday. I like it. Typically I put a scallop stitch kind of border around the whole thing, so this is still waiting on that and some ends to be woven in. I'm writing a pattern for how I make these. It's not anything revolutionary, but if you're like me when I was a beginner, I was very, how do you say it? Kind of lazy, and not in a bad way, but like I just didn't want to have to come up with a pattern. I think I was very new and scared, and I didn't want to dedicate a ton of time to like trying to work something out when I didn't feel like I knew enough to. So those really basic beginner patterns really gave me the skills that I needed to be able to kind of play with it a little more. I'm still venturing into that realm. Anytime I make a garment, something like a shirt or a sweater, or even some of the crochet skirts I've been looking at making, I want a pattern for those because I haven't made many garments. I make a lot of accessories and like a lot of coasters and things because they're easy, fast, and honestly, I have a little bit of a shopping problem and I own a lot of acrylic yarn. I made myself one crochet cardigan, photo here, that is really, really cute, but I get so sweaty in it and I can't wear it anymore. So I've been trying to kind of use up my acrylic and buy only natural fibers unless I had something in mind. So I did buy like some new blue big twist acrylic yarn because I wanted to use it to make the pattern version of the Betty Bow scarf. I do think I'm gonna unravel this and just redo it with the same yarn just so it's not a waste because I'm not gonna wear it the way it is right now. And then still use the blues that I bought for my pattern version. I will insert a B-roll clip of the blues here. They're very cute. I'm excited to see how they look. Now, in 2023, I knit my first hat. I used a pattern by Purl Soho. Let me get the pattern name. I'll link it in the description. It is the Soft and Cushy. The Soft+Cushy is how it's typed if you wanted to search it up. The Soft and Cushy Hat by Purl Soho, which is written for a wool, but I have acrylic. So I think I kind of had a little bit of an issue just kind of with gauge. I did knit a gauge swatch for like the first time ever because I really wanted my hat to fit, and my gauge swatch was very on. However, I think my tension kind of changed as I kept working on it because this hat took me such a gosh darn long time. That being said, this is my first ever knit hat. I'm keeping it the way it is. I'm not gonna unravel it yet. I know someday in the future I may want to, but it's kind of a testament to triumphs and failures. Like this looks beautiful. The stitching is done well, I would say. It's good. It's just way too big for me or any human person in existence. So yeah, that being said, I adjusted my gauge. I casted on a whole lot less stitches, and I have this going. This pattern is really great because it's just a 2-row repeat. You knit, purl, and then you, on the next one, knit one below and purl, which was a new technique for me. Ooh, I have snagged a stitch. Okay. It was a new technique for me, but it seems to be going better this time, I would say. It needs to stretch just a little bit to get over my ears. I know it'll probably stretch from where it's at right now to somewhere a little too loose, but once it becomes too loose for me due to wear, I can give it to my boyfriend. He's about a foot taller than I am, and his head's proportionate, so it works out, I think. While I sort these out, this one was a scrappy purple project. I wanted to take all of my purple yarn and just kind of condense it. Like I said, I'm trying to use up my big old stash of acrylic. Now, for these yarns, since they are all kind of from different brands, and with different kind of weights a little bit. They are gonna be slightly different sizes, so I do need to block them. I have not steam blocked acrylic yarn before, but I plan to for this project in particular, just because I want it to turn out good. I'm making a lot of granny square projects this year because it tends to be a very good way to kind of be repetitive, have a calming activity, but still get rid of a lot of my yarn. Now I did recently have to go buy more purple yarn because I ran out of some of the colors that I needed to make the pattern I want to with this blanket. So it's not necessarily the most low buy to no buy project, but it's still better than usual. These are all the squares I have currently. And essentially what I want to do with them is build like a little block of 4 and then go around that with a granny stitch and do like granny stitch stripes in a big square around, and then do another square of tiny granny squares around that and kind of granny square, granny stitch inception it. I have a picture kind of drawn up of, I doodled out what I kind of want it to look like if it was solid color. So I'll put that here. It's a bad drawing, it's from GoodNotes on my iPad because I just can't figure out how to use a drawing app. I'm artistically not super good at drawing, but I'm goodish at this, so I'll call it a win. But then I also kind of took a picture of the layout for the squares I already have, so I'll put that here. And that's what we're doing with this. Dad, I'm sorry. This is my father's birthday gift. My father was born at the end of September, and I did start this project in August, and in my defense, look at this. It's not, I hate weaving in ends. It is the bane of my existence. It's the worst part of the craft for me. I'm really trying to work on enjoying it because I think it's important to enjoy the process of making, because that is most of what I end up doing. I make things. I don't usually end up enjoying the physical product. Most of what's sitting over here that we already talked about will go to someone other than me when it's completed. I really love the act of giving things that I've made to the people I love. This is going to be a Green Bay Packers scarf. My dad is a huge Packers fan. He always has been his entire life. And my goal was that, you know, he went to 3 games at their home stadium, which he lives in Arkansas, so that's a travel thing for him. He went to 3 games this last season at their stadium, and I was hoping he would be able to wear the scarf there, but I just have not finished it. It is much longer, I would say, than I originally intended it to be. And again, these are a lot of ends to weave in because I do want it to be reversible, so I did not do any kind of like stranded color work. I am weaving in every single end from these color changes, and that is an act of love. And then I'm gonna have to steam block it because putting all of those ends back into the scarf is going to make it kind of wonky. So hopefully by next football season. Again, I'm sorry, Dad, I owe you. I think we're on our last thing. I honestly think I know what's in here, but I've had this since I moved into this apartment, so okay, yeah. This is a sweater! Like I said, I don't make a lot of garments, and I kind of lost steam on this bad boy when I got to the sleeves. Just because, again, I realized acrylic is not really my favorite thing to make wearables out of and garments, but this is where we are at so far. It's really cute. I think it'll be really, really cute. And as a note, this is by no means all of my works in progress. This is just all the ones I have in my 1-bedroom apartment. My mother is very gracious, and I do have a whole bedroom at my parents' house where I've been allowed to keep craft supplies since I moved them out of a storage unit. I am putting them back in a storage unit at the end of this semester with school, but again, my parents are being very patient. Thank you, parents. and letting me keep stuff there while I'm super duper busy doing homework. So this, I have no idea. I'm going to finish it, but I cannot commit to a timeline on this thing. It will be got to eventually. I would like to start a tradition this year of making myself a birthday sweater or a birthday item. That is the Rustic Ridges sweater pattern from Joy of Motion Crochet. I will also link that below. Those are my in progress projects. As I kind of finish them and work on things, I will be kind of making videos of me challenging myself to finish more works in progress, because I would like to produce more items. It makes me happy to have the finished project. Like I said, I'm really working on enjoying the process for that, but I really like it when the thing is done and I can go, oh my god, look at this cool thing I made. Making it kind of sucks. Maybe that's because I have chosen to make like 4 different granny square projects at the same time, but still, I'm not a huge fan of the process right now. I can acknowledge that it does make me happy, but like sewing this together, is the bane of my existence right now. I do a little bit every night. I think I'm still gonna need to make a few more granny squares for it, but I'm trying to use up all of the ones that I've already made before I decide that I need to make more, because I hate making them. But I'm really loving the way this thing is turning out. It's making me very happy. So I think this is gonna be the first thing that ends up actually finished. And then I'm gonna try to marathon the other things. Have a great day. Be kind to yourself, drink some water, stretch, and I will hopefully catch you if I ever get the chance to film another one of these.